Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another brilliant Businesses of Brighton podcast. Today I'm joined by the brilliant Pippa Moyle from City Girl Network. Welcome, Pippa.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Now, we've known each other for a while, and the work you're doing is amazing, building your community. So I think I'll just stay quiet and let you tell your story. How did things start, Pippa?
So it all started in 2015 when I'd just moved back to Brighton from doing a degree. I had actually spent a year in Brighton before that, but I did a degree in Sheffield and knew the whole time that I wanted to build a life in Brighton and did. So I did end up doing that. I moved back. I got a job through actually Wired Sussex, so shout out to them, rest in peace. And it wasn't quite what I thought it would be. So the friends that I did have in Brighton had moved away or perhaps had sort of settled into other relationships and other lives. And I felt really lonely. So I was basically walking along the beach one day, very classic, and saw a girl staring out to sea. And I just thought, I really wish that I could sort of be friends with like lots of different people, and I had the confidence to just go and find people. So I thought, I wonder if she feels like I do. And it was a really strange moment, almost like magic of a Disney film, when I thought, well, actually, why don't I create something called Brighton Girl? So in that very, very moment, I thought if I create a magazine, at the time it was a magazine, to sort of create content that would help girls feel more connected to the city and hopefully meet each other in the comments, because back then I was also a blogger, and that's sort of how I was making friends online. I just thought that perhaps that would be a good way of doing it. And I sort of went through 6 months of working that through, realising that actually I just created some work for myself rather than actually friends, and decided to create a coffee meetup. So I created a coffee meetup on the 13th of March of 2016, which is the day that I really say that it all started, because I just put up, if you have just moved to the city or if you lived here forever and are just really wanting to make some friends and come along and have a coffee. And unexpectedly, 17 girls turned up that day.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Like, just the best. I didn't know any of them. Very quickly did know them, actually, at the end of that. And still follow them now, still sort of talk to them, still friends, been to weddings and baby showers and all sorts, just from that first group.
Wow.
So that was just amazing. And honestly, from there, it all just happened. And within 6 months, we were in Edinburgh and Berlin. And we had really just started to grow into the City Girl Network. So within a year, we were in 5 different cities, and I was suddenly navigating a business rather than just a friendship group.
Wow, that's an incredible story. So, because I think anybody who's moved cities can relate to that, not knowing anybody and the sort of the isolation. I did it. I moved to Brighton 10 years ago, and I can remember moving here and thinking, I don't actually know anybody here. I don't know where do I even start. I think I went to a few meetup groups, and I'm going to put this in the most PC way possible. Some people you click with in the meetup groups, and some you don't. It seemed like it was going to be a slow old journey. So to have an instant network that I could have plugged into would have been a dream, I think.
Yeah, and it's amazing, really, because we do have, like, all the time, daily, girls saying, oh, hi, girls, I'm from Manchester, girl, and I've just moved to Brighton, and I'm just trying to look for hairdressers and nail salons and car mechanics and all sorts. And they really do come for not just friends, but also for recommendations as well. So you've got this whole thing to lean back on. I think that's sort of what I realised in the end is, yes, I was lonely, but I was also deeply disconnected from the city, and working out what coffee shops to go to and where to get my hair done and where to find a driving instructor it took me about 8 months to actually find a driving instructor. And then within kind of 2 days of setting up the Brighton Girl Network, I found my driving instructor.
Wow.
So it really is a much, much quicker way for people to feel connected to the city, and of course to find local businesses to support and jobs. Thousands and thousands of girls have got jobs through our network. It's just amazing, and it's become a really holistic community rather than just friendship and meetups.
Terrific. So very quickly expanded to 3 cities. So fast forward us up to date. What is City Girl at now at the moment? So
we're on 18 cities or communities, because we've actually just set up rural Sussex Girl. So coming out of the city, which has been an amazing experience. So we're on 18 communities and over 130,000 women in those communities.
Wowee, that is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of mad because we've got 33,000 at the time of record Brighton girls. We've got 5,500 in rural Sussex girl, which only started in August last year, so that's really cool. And Worthing girls got about 4,000. So it's it's an incredible network to have. Actually, I think Worthing girls bigger than that. I should probably know my numbers, but it's an incredible network even just across Sussex to have. And what I've loved watching within Sussex is actually seeing how the girls move around. So I think one of the reasons why Rural Sussex Girls really kicked off is because essentially it's anything. If you're not in Brighton, if you're not in Worthing, then you're in Rural Sussex Girl. So covers Hayward Heath and Lewes, which are two of the most popular places to buy at the moment.
Yeah.
And we have become that go-to place of trying to look to buy a house there. What's it like there? And we kind of have so many different groups who are vouching for those places and helping them to feel more connected. Because it's hard to move out of the city and into a whole new space.
That's great, because I mean I have friends on Facebook that use it for kind of a referral system. They don't use it to share photos and like connect with friends. They just want to know stuff.
Yeah.
So you've got a very active community then where you're sharing information and referrals for work and things like that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's thousands of comments a day that we're having to moderate.
Wow, oh my goodness.
Thousands. Luckily, I have an amazing volunteer team who are helping with moderation. And I have another full-time member of staff who's the head of UK communities. So she makes sure that our community is happy and that all inquiries are dealt with on like a really fast basis. And also she ensures that any kind of advertisers or people within our business directory are also seen by the community in the best possible way.
Oh, brilliant. So they're not just kind of left there, they're kind of actively promoted as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow. So if we see somebody saying, I'm looking for a makeup artist. Actually, I know that you recently interviewed Crystal from
Crystal's great.
That was one of my favourite chats actually from Brilliant Brighton. So I definitely recommend people to listen to that. But she's an example of somewhere when somebody says, I'm looking for a makeup artist to come to my house and help me get ready for my wedding or my birthday party, and we'll ensure that Get Glossy is put forward for that because they're one of our advertisers.
Excellent. That's brilliant. And now I've also had the privilege of attending not just an online community for City Girl Network, but also in person at your award ceremony last year. So that, which I have to say was a pretty electric feeling in the room. It was an amazing event.
Oh, thank you. And gosh, that was such an amazing time. And that really does encapsulate what we're about. So we are all about being playful and being fun and being supportive, which has been a really great journey in working out the sorts of advertisers that we want to work with and also attracting the right advertisers as well. So this idea of playfulness and fun and I suppose sort of not taking ourselves too seriously as well. It's like that's a big part of it. Because we are at the end of the day just a bunch of real humans who are just wanting to connect, and there is an element of wanting to support a local community. There's that sort of nice holistic element, or altruistic element, but actually a lot of it is just about finding the best possible way to live your life. And sometimes that means finding cost-effective ways of living, and sometimes that's about finding ethical and eco-friendly ways. So it's really great that we can offer a lot of that.
Yeah, that's a lovely philosophy and a great way to do business. You've taken something which was just scratching your own itch, your own need, and you've identified across a lot of people that they also have that need. And now look at you, you're sharing information and helping each other in their lives. It's brilliant.
I mean, I'm not lonely anymore, so that's good.
130,000 friends.
I know, I didn't quite expect that. Though next year we're actually planning to be 250,000, so I'm going to be probably one of the most popular people in the world in the UK next year.
You're going to have to find a big venue to get all those people together.
I know, tell me about it. Yeah, I'm fighting Taylor Swift at the moment.
Amazing. Along the way, building business can be tricky. So, is there anything, you've been doing this quite a long time now, 2016, sort of 8 years or so. So I bet you've had your challenges and your successes that we often talk on this podcast about the ups and the downs. Does any of those moments stick in your mind of like highs and lows?
Lots is the answer to that. I think it's been one of the most steepest learning curves of my entire life, because I've had to learn how to monetize a community, which is a battle in itself, because it's such a new way of building a business and trying to kind of convince advertisers that we are, that we're worth investing in as well. Because if you are a city girl, then you know that we're a really, really powerful community. But if you're not, then it can be quite hard to understand. So that's been quite a difficult thing, actually, and also learning how to articulate it. My background is not in business building. It's definitely not in advertisement, and it's certainly not in sales.
Yeah.
So I've had to really learn how to do all of those different things, especially, finance. I am a customer of the Number Studio, and I should say, you haven't asked me to say this, I should probably say, but working with you guys has been revolutionary to how I've understood finance and how I've moved forward with decisions. So that's been huge because...
Oh, thank you, Pippa.
Oh, of course. I need to write that down for you, actually, so you can put it on the website. But that's probably... Finance has been an enormous learning curve. And, I've been up and down with debt for quite a few years, and just understanding actually how money works in business is completely different to how it works in the personal life. And I think also... understanding my worth and my value, and that doesn't just include pricing, but it's also about who we team up with. And I've made some mistakes over the years about different festivals in particular that we've gone to kind of team up with, and they've just not been right for our audience. They've been about kind of a bit too much about kind of being too influencer heavy rather than actually representing the ordinary people. So there's so many learning curves.
Yeah.
But those are sort of quite key ones, I think. So just standing into my integrity and actually understanding what that means, and accepting that sometimes that means turning down money as well.
Yeah, hard thing to do sometimes, isn't it?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I think the elephant in the room when you're talking about a community online is that, people often use the phrase like sell out, you're just sort of selling out your community. So we might as well just get that elephant out here and now and just talk about it, because the truth is, I don't know how I see it, but knowing Pippa as I do, there's basically sort of two angles to two customers in your business, isn't there? You've got your community, which is where the heart is. This is like you've just explained your story. You've got your community, and you've got to look after them and preserve them and make sure they're looked after and they reach their goals. And then at the same time, the whole thing needs to fund itself, and there are people who want to partner with you to get access to your network. So it's finding those right partners, isn't it?
Yeah. And actually that has been, again, another huge challenge, is first of all, reminding people that not everything is free. So, what's really, really important for our membership is that they can access as much as possible for free. So when it comes to recommendations, that's free. So in order to do that, we do need to be able to have advertisers. And the only way that we can do that is by being honest with our audience. And when it came to us, I needed to grow quite rapidly last year. I needed to spend money to make money. And I decided that the first employee should be the head of UK communities. And that was done based on a loan. So in order for me to protect my brand and protect my product, I needed to be able to invest in the community to make sure they were looked after, because I can't do it all. And I think I just had to be really honest with the community. And actually, the ones who are really into what we're doing totally get it. I've also been very careful. There's a lot of companies on our blacklist.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a blacklisted City Girl company. It's not good.
Oh my goodness, it sounds off the no Christmas card, no Santa Claus.
It's not good. It's not good. And with that, there have been companies where there have been concerns over working with them, but we've also been very careful to share those concerns. And for example, if we're concerned about how they're treating their employees, then we actually have a really open and honest chat, which isn't very easy. But it then means that I can go back to the community and actually tell them what we found. Because I think it's very important also to remember that businesses can change, and you kind of have to be within the business community in order to change it. So yeah, it's you just have to be really open, which isn't easy at all.
Now, I don't often campaign on this podcast, but Pippa told me something before we press record about the fact that there was a business that had 148 referrals of work from City Girl to their business. And as far as I'm concerned, the law of reciprocity should be alive and well, and people should recognise when they've had work from a network like City Girl and put their damn hand in their pocket and pay something in return in the form of sponsorship. But anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now, I think.
I appreciate that. There have been a number of times actually where businesses have said, like that, the 148 referrals, that's hard. And there was another company that said we made £15,000 from you last year, and they didn't give us a penny because they said, oh, well, we can just get it for free by commenting on the Facebook group or by having our customers. And it's like, that's all well and good. But actually, all that's going to happen is that other advertisers in your space are going to, that are paying us and that are helping us, they're going to get more of a platform, because that's just how it works. Because if you are supportive of a community and want to invest in it, then you are exactly the right company for our members to go to.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, I suppose some people go short-term gain. but the other thing is that the more that you invest into City Girl, the more it sustains itself, the more it grows, and the better we can do for businesses, and the more we can bring customers into their shops and their professional services as well. So it works together. It really, really does.
Yeah. And, nice segue, the more features and benefits you can provide to the City Girl network, which brings us on to what's coming next, Pippa.
Yes, what's coming next? So I'm very, very excited because after about a week, I'm not quite sure when this comes out, so it probably will be out by the time this is recorded, but we're about to launch our Friends Card, which is a digital discounts app for members within the entire City Girl network. So that'll be $4.99 a month. And it includes discounts from lots of different bars, restaurants, salons, yoga studios, and so on, and hotels as well, all across the UK, which is launching very, very soon. And it's very exciting. And another steep learning curve that we'll probably go through in part 2 when we when we chat again.
Amazing. Well, Pippa, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure to speak to you, and I love all the work that you're doing, and I think our listeners will as well. But all of the Pippa's socials, and if you wanted to join City Girl Network, that will be available in the links, and also if you want to contact Pippa directly. But thanks again, Pippa. Thanks for coming on.
Such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.